a box and squashed it. They don't have the Amazon thing where Amazon puts it in a box that's like 3 times the size
Oh
of the
no.
thing. Yeah.
I
I got
hate
a
it when
refund
packaging
for
goes
it.
like that. Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. So you got it for free and you got a refund.
Yeah. It's saddening.
But the
But I'm
resale
also
value is terrible.
as if I would. But also, it's okay because it has the sticker that says it's now a Prime Video original series, which I'm like, don't put
Ooh.
this on here. Don't tell me that. Okay, I want just the book by itself.
Well,
This
let's.
the fact that you know that this exists with the show,
Mhm.
that's even more egregious. Like actually, like look at how it can visually be represented, and then you do this to my story.
Well, I think what you got in your hands is probably the best version.
It's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody out
Dig
there.
it.
Welcome to the summer. If you're watching this
It's
on
summer.
replay and you didn't see an introduction, that's because I pushed it too far with 15 seconds of material that I didn't ask for. So, for those that did hear it, that was from a movie from the 70s, I believe, Meatballs. The introduction song. It's a Bill Murray vehicle for the time, and that music has always stuck with me. And my boys are on summer vacation officially, so I thought we
Wee!
would bring in the summer with that. So, how's your day been? How's your week been? Chill.
It's been great. Rested. Actually went to sleep for like a long period of time. That never happens.
Mm-hmm.
What's a long period of time?
Oh my, 8 hours. If I can sleep for 8 hours, that's like, whoo, I did it.
Yes.
And I feel energized. And I had like a healthy breakfast. I'm in a very good mood today.
Awesome. Let's ruin it now.
Interesting story about breakfast being the most important part of the important meal of the day. For the longest time, breakfast was just what you had left over for dinner or what meal you had. And there was an overwhelming amount of pork by the pork producers at a certain point in time, and they wanted people to start eating more meat. The reason being is because Kellogg, you know that guy, right? Dr. Kellogg.
Mm-hmm.
He started getting people to eat a lighter meal in the breakfast to solve the morning indigestion problem, which came with eating leftover meals from the day before. So he started to introduce grains and cereals in the morning as an alternative, and that swept the nation and made him a billionaire, but started costing people lots and lots of money because that's what they were having for breakfast. So the pork people decided to engineer a study. Yes, engineer a study.
Yeah.
And the study that they had was they asked all of these doctors of the choice between the three meals, which one is probably the most important if you were going to eat one meal a day? That was the question.
Well,
Of
the
the one
first
meal
one.
a day, which one is most important? And they all agreed that it was breakfast was the most important meal of the
I
day.
can't believe it.
And that is what they use to push bacon as a breakfast, as part of your healthy breakfast meal. And so that's why we all eat bacon for breakfast around the world.
Not all of us. Not all of us
Oh, that's
have
very.
bacon.
Oh,
Oh,
that's lovely.
Ooh,
Oh, that's not a
delicioso.
waffle. That's
man.
not very
It is.
healthy, but it's
You know
hey, it's
what?
lovely.
I'm not a
These are
vegan
fruits.
like some people, but those are fruits that I would eat. Yes, definitely for part of my breakfast.
So
Bananas and strawberries.
I got a
Mm.
breakfast tidbit also. I was watching, I think Joe Rogan, but the host, co-host, the panelist was like, "Listen, you have to fast. Your body needs to take some time to digest things. Breakfast is the words break fast." I was like, "Whoa, my mind got blown." And you should have like a window of eating, which is about 6 hours or so, like from your first meal, then you have your last meal, then only have water in between that because give your body a break to like not be digesting. And it sucks because the work life is we go to breakfast, we have our lunch breaks, and then we got dinner, and we're not attuned to the fast part of your body system.
My husband fasts basically because he eats like once a day. It's not. I don't think it's the way it should be. I really don't think so.
I've lost weight fasting, doing the intermittent fasting.
Really?
That's been on the rage. Yeah. My sugar has started to normalize a little bit more. The weight has gone down. The cholesterol is a whole lot better. This is the HIPAA violation portion of the show, and I'm actually feeling a whole lot better. So normally,
So it's
I
now.
don't.
You're talking about presently. This is what you're doing, and it's
Yes.
working as we speak. It's not like I did this
Are
thing
you-
back in college.
No.
Are you-
We're talking about right now.
Obviously, and this is combined with lowering the calories, right?
Well, that just kind of happens when you stop eating.
When you're eating late. No, I'm saying like you're not that because the fasting thing that like the way they're like, okay, this is when you have these calories and this is when then you stop and then you wait for your body to do something and then you're supposed to go into like what's it? Keto or something. I don't know.
Well, the thing
yeah.
is that overnight is when your body usually repairs itself. You eat a heavy meal late at night before you go to sleep, and your body is doing less of the repairing of itself. It's doing more of the digesting of the food that you've shoved into your body. So if you, for myself only, and I'm only speaking for myself because I have no experience in anybody else's body. I stop at 8. But I don't go to bed. I go to bed at my regular time, which is 10, 11 o'clock. So I stop eating, and that gives my body time to adjust to sleep. And when I sleep,
You're
it's
fasting.
doing more repairing. I'm fasting. And then I wait until sometime after 12. If I'm lucky, I can go longer, maybe 10 or 11, before I eat my first meal of the day. And basically, everything is starting to work out better. I haven't changed really the food that I'm eating, which I should, because that's going to make a difference. I haven't changed the exercise that I've been doing, which I should. And that's also going to make a difference. So,
But you think this has made a difference?
yes, just a little bit. I just think what happens if I start drinking water,
Wow. Okay, relax. One step at a time.
One step at a time, but we'll get to that later. We've got plenty of show to talk about this week. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Andrew, you know what? I don't count that as breaking my fast when I drink coffee in the morning. Bri, good morning. Good afternoon to you.
Good old morning. Good evening.
Hey, Rosales, can you say, well, Jim, we'll just tell your mother we ate? Oh, I see. It's an American Pie joke, I think.
Oh, is you saying that's what you sound like?
I see. Same, I'll try to eat after 8. Try not to eat after 8, yeah. And sometimes I have a midnight sandwich. You know what? I think we've all been there. We've all been there. Especially after a hard night of clubbing and, I sound like the dad. Oh, I see.
That's what I thought.
That's what, yeah. Oh, we'll just tell your mother we ate it. There we go. I had somebody tell me that I sound like the Big Lebowski one time, so that's nice, too. So what, the Fast and the Furious, we were told that the 10 was going to be the end. And that was it. That was going to be the last of it.
Sure.
And people got excited for Fast X, for the X being exit. And it started tracking to break $1 billion like a Marvel movie. And they said, did we say it was the end? We meant it was a 3-parter.
Oopsie.
It's a 3-part end is what that is. And so they're going to have 11 and 12. And that will be the end of that. And I think just recently I saw on the Twitter Vin Diesel himself talking about possibly a spinoff for the Toretto family. So definitely the end, kind of like Ric Flair retiring. What do you guys think?
I think the Fast and Furious doesn't need to end. They
Yeah,
have family members that are younger right now, and that 7-year-old will one day be a 17-year-old, and that's just a decade from now. So there's no
just
reason
a
to leave.
decade. And these movies, they're not serious. They're fun. They're not. They know. We know the audience knows what it's about, and it's not supposed to be about quality. Really, it's got a different quality. So it has a license to do that. Uh, to carry on and to be absolutely ridiculous. Like you can have 10 movies. Go on, just do 10. It's fine, and then you can go, oh, do another 10. And when you say, oh, there's a 17-year-old, yes, they start writing his story too.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen this one, but if they can keep making them, I don't know, they might run out of crazy shit to do. I don't know. Uh, they have to just keep pacing them out. They can't release like one a year or something. Have they been releasing one a year? I don't even know.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years? Yeah,
But
that's
they got
okay.
to be creative though. The more creative, the better. You're acting like the restrictions are gonna keep this franchise down. No, I want some traction tires where you're driving upside down on a ceiling. And
I mean, they went to space and they made it and was fine. Okay, so I'm thinking it doesn't matter. Let's go.
look at that joke, wheelchair road rage. If we joke about that loud enough, then Vin Diesel's gonna be coming back. He's 75 years old on a wheelchair and put nitros on it.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Axel.
there was a Saturday Night Live skit where they did bicycle police on Venice Beach, and that wound up being a show in syndication of some kind.
Thank you for muting that. I would have hated to hear. "Brr, brr, brr."
Oh, it was worse than that. Miss 1776, how do you feel about muted coughing? I mean, how do you feel about Fast X?
Oh, I don't watch that series.
Oh.
I know.
How many have you seen?
None.
Oh. What Vin Diesel movies have you seen him in?
The
The
I saw him
pacifier.
in that one with the kids. What was it? The
Pacifier.
Pacifier.
That was, I don't remember what any of that
How
was
did I
about.
know that you only saw the pacifier?
I mean, there's probably one I probably saw with him in it, but I would have to like look up a list of movies he was in to kind of see what I've seen him in.
Triple
Again, the movie
X.
buff is my sister, so
That's probably the beef that The Rock and Vin Diesel have is that they're competing for the same role, basically.
Yeah.
I would
The
agree.
And
action hero thingy.
Nico thinks number 2 is the best. I don't have
can't
an
even
opinion
tell
on
you.
that.
Yeah.
I think Vin Diesel was probably at his best in Iron Giant.
Okay, that one I've seen.
Yeah, see, you're a fan.
My animals are killing me.
You've seen him as Groot in the Guardians
Very
of the
good
Galaxy
at Groot.
franchise.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, very well.
Okay, so maybe I just like his voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he says that sentence, it's amazing.
I am.
Wait,
Groot.
which sentence? Oh, I am Groot. That one. Yeah. Morning, Tony.
Morning,
Riddick movies
all.
are fun. I especially enjoy the video game, The Chronicles of Riddick. The what is that? Dark something? Is what those movies are? With Vin Diesel playing the
Triple X.
No, it's kind of like the Night Blind Alien Fighter series.
Separate to Riddick.
Made about 3. Chronicles of Riddick, I think, was the last one.
Yeah, Chronicles of
Tony.
Riddick. I remember enjoying it. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't know if
Pitch
I,
Black. That's what
that
it was,
opinion
Pitch
would
Black.
maintain. But
Well, he's found his niche and he's got to do this. Gets millions of dollars. So what if you're a one-note actor, or that's all the people want to see you for? Do your little voice actings on the side. Take advantage of the free time that you're gonna have because you have so much money now.
Mm-hmm. And it's even if you are a one-note kind of actor, if everybody loves the note, then hey, take advantage of it.
It works.
It worked for Frank Sinatra, George Clooney, any number of actors out there that only do the one thing. Julia Roberts.
And think about how there's other acts in entertaining, right? Like the Vegas shows that they do. Who's it right now? Britney Spears? No, it's not Britney Spears, but one of those artists, Usher, I think. He's got a Vegas show. Same act every single night. Every night, the circus people, they do the same performancing. Some wrestlers like John Cena wrestle the same match over and over again, and they just go touring around. So if you got to do the same thing over, it's really not that bad of a deal. It's only actors who want to show their range because they want to impress people who are gonna like applaud as you walk up to the award ceremony. Like that shouldn't dictate how much how you live your life. Really, you shouldn't value your peers so much. Chill's hair looks glorious. I'm jealous.
I'm also jealous.
Oh,
yeah, it's very nice, very nice. It's very full-bodied.
It's because you slept nicely.
Yes.
Your hair is showing it as well. He's
My
bright-eyed
balance.
and bushy-tailed.
Did you wrap that up at night? Do you have some kind of
really?
do-rag that you
Really? Is
cover
that a real
with?
question? I'll do this. I'll do the pineapple if I'm sleeping, or if I'm eating food. Honestly, I'll do the same thing. Hair care.
Hair care 101.
Okay.
Miss
For those that were...
76.
Yes, please.
Why are you so quiet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm waking up.
She didn't sleep. 8
Well,
hours.
at least she can tell us where Warren is. What happened with Warren this morning?
What happened?
Yeah, he's he's like out of town with family.
Oh.
So, but he told me that he wanted to join the stream. He's like really bummed because like, oh, those are the topics I wanted to discuss. So he said that he's gonna try to see if he can find a place with some privacy where he can stream from. But if he can't, he won't be able to let you guys know. But yeah, he's bummed.
Well, if you're watching, Warren, we miss you. We'll be glad to talk about these topics another time for you. But as always, family is very, very important around here. So always do family first. And kudos to you for putting family first on that.
They say that in West Virginia also. Always do family first.
Oh, come on.
I don't have my setup, or I would have given you the drum roll on that. The nice little thing.
Well, Warren can be here next week when it reaches $1 billion. This international box office for this film is maddening because like 75% of the money it's grossing is from outside of domestic, and that's unheard of for even like for Transformers and other movies that are like hot like that. Like it's not 75% domestic. It's like 60% of the audience is domestic. This is madness, and I can see why they visit all these different countries in the Fast and Furious. They go to Italy. They're down in the Pacific Islands. They're everywhere. Brazil. They went back to it for this one because Fast 5, the best Fast, had a Brazilian scene, and they wanted to recreate it. Yeah, it's just the money internationally and the music selection. They are appealing to a global audience. So even though all of us see the memes about, oh my God, family, they're making the same movie again. This is so uncreative. Why do they keep doing them? Listen, the whole world loves it because it translates these car tricks and motorcycle stunts and submarines.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend this movie franchise, and that's why they're going back and forth to see. But there's more happening. There was more happening this weekend other than that as a topic. We wound up seeing, or at least I wound up seeing, the Night of Champions in WWE. And that, for me, wound up being a fairly decent show. I haven't been the biggest and strongest WWE fan for the longest time. Got excited when troubles were being foisted upon Vince Jr., and the product seemed like it was headed in the right direction. And then he did the most Vince McMahon thing ever and forced his way back in, and now he's back in charge until he dies. But
until he dies.
That being said, Night of Champions was a fairly decent show. And I just wanted to recap it real quick and hit the highlights. Very first match of the Night of Champions was Seth Rollins and AJ Styles for the New World Heavyweight Champion. And Seth Rollins himself made a daring entrance into the arena.
He's dressed like Aladdin.
Well, it seemed like Pride Month came early, and Seth Rollins wound up looking like a MILF Cougar Mushroom or Craven the Hunter in
By the
drag.
pants, it looks like Aladdin like fell into Jasmine's wardrobe or something.
Yeah, it looks like
Upside down.
Jasmine, not Aladdin. It's Jasmine.
Oh my
They-
god.
What
Lady
what a
Gaga.
and it does look like a codpiece and chaps were printed onto his trunks.
Yeah.
So
Well, he did it for
what-
Saudi Arabia. That's why.
Saudi Arabia was probably
really-
the
did he say
craziest
that? Was that
place
his- Was
to do
that?
that.
Did he make it out? He made it out. He's okay.
As far as we know, we haven't heard anything. They did
Look, he
stop their
didn't
plane one
say-
time from leaving over.
He did-
I remember that, and that was
When?
like there was like 3 years ago where contract negotiations for the TV in Saudi Arabia. Was that it? Was that the story, Rosales?
They hadn't been paid yet, and so Vince took it upon himself to cut the broadcast in Saudi Arabia and demand payment before they turned it back on. And so, in return, the king of Saudi Arabia held the plane hostage.
But not Vince's
We
plane.
got kings
Vince
here
got
in
on
the
his
Middle
jet.
East, bro. You don't mess with us.
The staff and the referees and all like the employees at WWE, they all left. They flew away, and then all the wrestling staff who were like the guys who worked, they're like, "Yo, we're still at the airport. What's going on?"
They were stuck on the tarmac with.
And we didn't learn
technical
until
issues.
later that they were like the king and like the Saudi Arabian like officials were doing this as a way to get back to Vince, like to scare them.
Vince is.
And-
You don't do that to a country.
And you don't do that for your
These guys.
reputation. The
Yeah.
point of these shows is to introduce yourself to the world and be like, "Yo,
Yeah.
we can have these sporting events here too. You didn't all have to happen in Vegas or wherever else." But then you do this to your reputation, people are just gonna look at you like you're strange, like you're like, "Bro, you guys are not human, like humane."
They're not normal.
Hmm.
We're not. Yeah, it's a different world. I think both sides were just. Why wouldn't they
Paid?
get paid as well? That's dumb. But now wait, this
So that-
was not a. This is not
You
a
said that
statement.
was a clicker face.
It was just. I mean, it does make sense actually. That's right. But now it wasn't like he came out there going, "It's pride." He just looked a bit.
fruity.
Yeah,
he did
there you
do
go,
that.
like your breakfast.
He did do that. Okay, he came out and struck that pose.
That
allowing
doesn't mean
people to-
anything, okay?
No. I mean, the man's married. He's got children. Okay, so there's
Exactly.
no question about that. But he did challenge the sensibilities of the locals, I would
Yeah.
assume.
But I mean, that's what you should expect from going to see a show like that.
hmm So Seth wins with a curb stomp
Infidels.
on AJ Styles, and Triple H handed him the belt personally, and so we have a new heavyweight champion to continue that tradition on. So
Yeah. How long
so
until
this-
they unify the title with another title and then introduce a new one? Because that's what they do.
who knows? Who knows how long it's going to take?
3 years.
The next up was Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. There was no title on the Night of Champions for this particular one. Becky Lynch came in looking like a character out of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
And Trish Stratus did more technical wrestling in this match than she had in her original WWE run, which was amazing.
I have insight. The same guy who trains her, I trained with, Rob Fuego.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like recently training. She was recently training with Rob Fuego.
She
Okay.
literally, yeah, that's her go-to. Like I've assist. Nah, I probably shouldn't say that. I never met Trish Stratus in my life, but I was gonna say something that probably doesn't need to be said. So
Very good.
about locations, and I don't want to give that away.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Doxing people.
Stratus did win with the Stratus faction. However, she did have help from Zoe Stark, so they're going to be promoting Zoe Stark's now and trying to bring her up as quickly as possible. That was the point of this particular match, I believe, was to interject Zoe Stark's at a higher level than she normally would have been because she's a call-up from NXT. So let's get her directly into the mid-card so she can start her climb to the top. That's my own.
Mid card is not a bad place to be when you just got started, right?
No, it's not a bad place to stay either. If you ask Walter and
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali. Now, this match should have been a no-brainer,
That's
and it was.
glorious hair.
Despite Ali having the hometown advantage, Gunther wins with a power bomb. So, good on them. It was a nice, tight match, and it was everything you would have expected it to be. However, Ali was probably got the second biggest babyface pop during his match. And I have to say it was the second best because we'll get to that in a little bit. But the next match was for the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca versus Asuka. The crowd was not behind Asuka at the very beginning of the match. However, they were totally behind her when she won with an assist from the Blue Mist. So she attempted a mist spray from her mouth into the eyes, but she missed. Later on, she spit mist onto her hands and rubbed it into the eyes and took the cheating win. And the crowd went wild for that.
Everyone allowed that.
Yeah, the referee.
And so far, 0 ref bumps, so that was good.
But look, the referee's supposed to know that mist was a foreign object held inside of Asuka's mouth. She blows it into her eyes, and all of a sudden, the referee just counts to 3. Like, oh yeah, this is a legitimate victory. Look at her face; she's all darkened up with the mist. Science.
That's true.
No?
Science.
Listen, I'm mad that Bianca's title reign, which was like 400 something days long, had to end like this.
Well, she reached the max. So she got to break the record, and the crowd's been turning on Bianca since the grandest stage of them all. So either she had to fail, she had to turn heel, or she had to lose the title. And rather than turn her heel, they chose to strip her of the title. So
they
Seth
probably
Rollins,
should. If she's got like the record for the longest reign, you should pull the title just so someone else can break the record, and it won't be so long. You know.
Absolutely. Let's see, an 80s fashion gang, the substitute knives for stilettos, and they blind you with glitter. Okay, so they're still on the Seth Rollins topic is what they were doing there. Okay, so we followed that up with another women's match that lasted all of 2 seconds. Rhea Ripley won, so we'll move on as well. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. That was also no title on a Night of Champions. Cody came in with an injured arm, and they made a big stink about adding titanium to his cast, which he used to great effect. They did a lot of great in-ring psychology. The crowd was behind Cody 100%. However, Brock Lesnar was still too much of a beast and won with a TKO. Cody did not submit, but he did pass out. So that feud will continue. Good. And the Night of Champions ended with the undisputed tag team championship of Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the current holders as of the beginning of the match. Sami was treated like a returning hero, dressed in local garb, and even spoke the local language. Now, the one thing about Sami Zayn, I had his story mixed up all wrong. I thought he chose not to go to Saudi Arabia because of his Syrian descent. And it turns out that there were legal reasons why he couldn't go. Syrians were not allowed in the UAE for penalties of, they would have been arrested and may have been put to death. Who knows? But the point is that the Syrians were mistreated, and he and his family had to flee. They wound up in Canada, where he grew up. And when they changed the rules recently for the UAE, and now Syrians are allowed to travel, Sami went back.
We're progressive.
He wound up being, yes, in the progressive city of Jeddah is where Sami made his big return, wearing the local garb, visiting the holy places. It was a big, momentous, emotional moment for everybody there. He got the biggest hometown hero pop of anyone at the show. Stop it.
There's a story too with Kevin Owens, his tag partner, because
Mhm.
they're buddies from Montreal days, and for some reason Kevin wouldn't go to the same Saudi Arabia matches
In
because
support of Sammy.
yeah, he's like we're a ticket. Like if he's not coming, then I'm not coming either.
Yeah.
And because he came this time, there was internet chatter because they were like, "Wait, Kevin's going? I thought Kevin was standing up to the oppressive regime," and he's just like, "Nah, it was just my boy that couldn't go, so I couldn't go." And that was the deal. It was never nothing like he had standards that were like, I can't collect money from these guys, which people I guess wanted to be the case. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're American, right, Rosales? 776, you're American.
Yeah.
You guys are not very
yeah.
morally, you know what I mean? Like people collect money from everywhere.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We'll start wars as a country and then supply to both sides. So
You guys,
there are no scruples.
Yo, you do that. And there's the two bombs that were dropped. I don't want to say the word because Trump told me that there's two N-words now, but there's those Hiroshima and Nagasaki things that you guys did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that it worked. So Sammy
The thing about that is we
Nice.
won. So, anyways.
Don't talk history with Hydra.
Sammy and
Yeah.
Kevin won with the assist of the Usos. Now, we did have the first ref bump of the evening when Roman Reigns speared the ref and got him out of the ring, allowing the Usos the opportunity to come down and support the bloodline. I think that's what they're called, and bring people in and do their best to take out Sammy and Kevin. They tried themselves to help the bloodline. However, in a missed opportunity, they super kicked Solo Sikoa in the face, taking him down. Roman Reigns saw that, came into the ring, and started pie-facing Jimmy, I believe, or the other. They're twins. I can't tell them apart. And one of them decided enough was enough and super kicked Roman in the head, and then super kicked him again, allowing the current champions to retain. So the bloodline story continues on Monday, so we're probably going to get a really high rating on Monday for Monday Night Raw. So there's that. Yes, Homelander was in the show. That's how Cody Rhodes comes out dressed as Homelander, basically.
So we had a Kill Bill and we had some cosplaying.
Oh, they do
Cosplaying.
that all the time. There was a Game of Thrones guy, the Night King. Remember the Night King that he dressed up
That's
like?
cool.
Yeah.
He dresses up like people all the time. He was the Joker one time. And the Riddler, I should say. He was the Riddler one time. It was crazy.
Absolutely. So that was the Night of Champions. Miss 7076, I know you're a big WWE fan. What were your thoughts?
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know if I should just say the thing that I usually say, which is,
yes.
yeah, unless I'm what I know about wrestling is like whatever I haven't tuned out from my dad talking about wrestling, and he's talking about like the old time wrestling. I mean, hasn't
Yeah,
changed.
why don't you recap the Wahoo McDaniel match? That'll help out.
Greg Valentine broke his leg.
For
There
real.
we go. For real. Things do happen in wrestling.
For real.
For real.
But that is an old school thing that happened with Cody Rhodes, saying that there's a titanium inside of him. There was a wrestler, was it Lex Luger?
I've got titanium inside me. Wee.
Well, if you wrestle
And the
a match,
horse?
it's legal, and you can hit somebody with a titanium, and the referee's not going to say anything.
Yeah. Can't say anything.
Can't say it. It's part of your body.
Well, wrestling is not just a one-night event. There are 2 nights of wrestling pay-per-views. Tonight is the Double or Nothing pay-per-view for AEW, and these are the matches that... Oh, wait a minute. Nope, wrong one. Here we go. These are the matches that are slated to happen.
Okay.
So we've got the TNT Championship with Wardlow versus Christian Cage in a ladder match.
Whatever.
So
Next.
Somebody's bound to win that match. That's my prediction.
Someone's going to climb a ladder and win the match. Yep.
Absolutely. The next one is Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm for the women's championship. Jamie Hayter is severely injured, so she's probably going to give up the belt.
In 1 minute.
Jade Cargill has an undefeated streak of close to 60 wins. And if it's not 60 wins, then she won't lose tonight, because I think they'll probably try to go for the full 60.
Okay.
So there's that.
Orange Cassidy, that's the one I'm talking about right there. Freshly squeezed. I was there the night he won the championship because they filmed that in Toronto. I was there.
Sweet. So you pick him for the win out of the 20 some odd people that are going into the match?
Yes.
I do.
He's going to beat all of them.
He's going to have to, because most of them are tag teams that they've got in there, which I think is kind of unusual. That
I don't like wrestlers painting their faces like that. The one at the bottom there.
So then you got the Four Pillars 4-way, Double or Nothing.
Unsanctioned match.
Anything goes.
I missed a couple of things here. The unsanctioned match is going to happen. What do they call that? The Stadium Stampede or something along those lines. They're going to go all over the place. They're going to choose the easy or hard way. It's going to be a nice, bloody, fun match. And I believe Jericho's going to come out on top of that. FTR will retain against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, because this isn't TNA. Back to the Four Pillar match. MJF is going to retain, and they're just getting rid of these contenders in one fell swoop, so that they can move on to the next big match at Wembley Stadium. So the final match, the Anarchy in the Arena, that's going to be also a little bit of a banger. That's it. Doesn't matter who wins.
The special referee of Mark Briscoe is the most fascinating thing on this whole entire card. There will be a special referee.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe, who sadly lost his tag team partner and brother earlier this year, had to give up the title belts to the Lucha Brothers, who wound up breaking somebody's leg to win that match. Believe it or not, that's the match that happened in. We talked about that at one point in private, of course. But that's that, and we'll see what happens sometime later. We may or may not go over that later on. So,
Woo, wrestling.
That happened.
It's still happening.
The Little Mermaid released.
That's not the poster in China.
The Little Mermaid did release its Chinese poster. This one, however, is not it.
No, I don't think so.
No. This one is it. This is the Chinese poster, which got people all kinds of riled up, and they didn't like the idea that they were blue washing a black actress for
but
the
people
sake
aren't
of the
even going
Chinese
to
people.
see it. You know what I was saying? I was going to ask is, like, people, they do this. People aren't going to go and watch the movie, but they're doing this to appease the people that are walking past the poster. That's how much it offends them. They have to make it so that it's not irritating to people that aren't even watching the movie, because I don't think that anyone walks past the thing and go, oh, there's no black people in there, I'll go and watch the movie. And
I think
they're
that
just doing it that way.
Part of the reason for why you do, quote, representation is to tackle stigmas and challenge the norms, or the default of it's usually white people in these positions. So when you do something with a black lead, even though I don't want this to happen, I don't want for her to be the Little Mermaid, because it's only temporary. And if all that money is going to go to a black-led film, I'd rather have it go to a character who's always going to be black and will stay black. And I'm against these race swaps, but at least put her in the poster At least normalize her appearance to the international audience who
Yeah,
don't
well,
really show up for Black movies. Don't try to trick them into figuring out like they didn't
yeah,
watch the trailers. I don't know. Like, we can watch this.
like I don't think that
Well, I don't think
they are
people realize
tricking.
how racist China is towards,
Yeah,
especially towards Black people. I don't think they really understand that. Like, I don't know. I think we discussed this on MSK show, but like during the pandemic, McDonald's had banned Black people in China. Sorry, not in the US. In China, they had banned Black people because they're like, oh, they're the ones bringing COVID into the country. Now, I don't really know how
they came
China
up
is
with.
able to sit there and say that, but yeah,
I don't
Sunday,
that's
know.
brother. Oh,
yeah,
digga,
like McDonald's had to
bracapito,
close
sidamo,
over in
No,
China
dadara.
Black
because
people. Yeah,
it looked bad, you know, obviously being like, oh yeah, sorry, in China, Black people can't come to McDonald's. It looked bad. They had to close the McDonald's. So it's like when Disney tries to say, oh, we weren't trying to do that, it's like, yes, you were. Yes, you were trying to do that.
Fool me once, shame on you. Like this happens so many times now. I remember the John. Thank you, Rosales. Yes, look at that difference. And the Black Panther one also, where he was mad. Oh, yes, Rosales.
oh my
Absolutely.
God.
So when this happened and uproar happened, that was the first movie was 2015. This movie was 2018. Now we're past that. We've had a couple years of everyone knowing what you do with the posters. So I think they were like, okay, we can't cover the face, so what we'll do is we'll have her there, so they can't say we covered the face. Okay, we're not going to shrink Ariel with
How about
other
you use
people.
the
We're just
same
not going to have other
poster?
people. Sorry,
Just different language. Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but there's still a difference.
there is, and
Did they think this was plausible deniability?
how does it
Is that what you're
pass
saying?
anymore? They
Yeah,
should know that the China's marketer or that division, the Chinese guy who runs the advertising campaigns for them, they should know to tell him, by the way, when you do this poster, we know what you did with the last 2 times we actually put money behind a Black lead. Don't do that again. They should know that, but they let this one slide.
Did they really, is the question, did they really do the exact same thing again? Because Brian Burdick went on Twitter to say, before racist idiots try to accuse China of being racist to justify dehumanizing him, here are images of Chinese promotional material for The Little Mermaid they claim can't be used in China. So there you see Ariel in full color at the world premiere, and there's a better picture of it. She is not blue washed at all. So at the premiere, at least,
I would tell that person the premiere is one place. The Chinese poster is in every cinema in that country of 1 billion people, and that has more exposure.
That's why I'm thinking it's not about promotion. That's literally because they just don't want to irritate people walking around. Because they're not convincing people using that poster. They're not convincing people to walk into that film. Everybody has seen the trailer. Everybody knows about it. But they just literally are not they just don't want to irritate the people with this horrible skin.
Pull up the poster again.
Which one?
Oh, sorry, the one at the premiere.
This one?
The one where it was like, where it was expanded. Yeah. Look at how red her hair looks there. And to me, she looks actually kind of lighter. You know, it's like, look at where the focal points are in it. And to me, I'm like, oh, well, no, you could see where they've kind of highlighted and made things, look a little lighter, look a little more vibrant, just to kind of,
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying it, guys.
So you're saying she's slightly darker here than she is here? I mean,
I'm saying, look at how like
the hair looks redder than
there. Exactly. There, her hair is more like the focal point. You're like her tail. One of the things like
God, it's
how the lights on her. Yeah. It's not like focusing. And plus, there's like this article. I wish I would have saved it, but it was like basically an article talking about an article like that's like written like one of those China propaganda kind of articles where it was talking about this and how they're like, oh, you're taking away from the fairy tales by, basically not. Well, how was it phrased? It was like by doing this like race swap or like this kind of like, I don't want to say bait and switch, but kind of like a bait and switch. It's like you're taking away from the fairy tale, and then it went on to say, oh, we don't have that same level of guilt. So it was like this really weird thing that I'm sitting there And then, of course, you can just tell the Chinese propaganda too a little bit here because it's also talking about like, oh yeah, we don't do anything. We only have this thing. I'm like, going, you have camps over there. What are you talking about? You guys don't do anything. So it's like never trust someone when they say, oh no, this. Whenever they start blowing smoke up China's ass, don't trust them. I mean, because one, every country has like something that they've done horrible, and two, like I said, I would never trust anybody who blows up smoke up China's ass ever. And that's not against the Chinese
Don't
people, by
trust
the way.
China. China is
There,
asshole.
when I followed this particular thread, there was a ton. I'm talking about a ton of pro China posts that followed that.
Her hair in there. It's like how red it is. It's like those are like
I
drawing you to her hair, but that's not the
the
color of her
point
hair in the movie.
the
I thought they
point
were
stands
eliminating
that
redheads.
poster is everywhere. All
Again,
of
this
that
is
stuff.
China. This is in America here.
Hey, well, the point. That's why I'm like, I don't think they're fooling anyone with the poster, but there is something that they keep doing it to placate people. Are they like, that's what I think. That was my immediate opinion. Like, they're not doing it because you're not fooling anyone with those posters.
I think the
Um,
people are fine. I think the Chinese people, as
yeah.
in general, they're okay.
Oh, that's
They
right.
don't
There's an
mind.
ad. Did anybody ever see it? There's a commercial where it had like, oh God, it's so horrible. It was such a horrible
But
commercial.
that
It was
was
like that one
Japanese.
with the washing machine. Was that okay? So you know
I
what I'm
think it was
talking about?
Japanese.
Yeah, because I'm like sitting here going, there is a stigma against dark skin in like these Asian countries, and people like go, no, 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 it's just America. I'm like, and then like they're like, could you imagine if that ad happened here? Could you imagine if that was an American ad for that washing machine?
I think, but you're right. The people, we don't know what actually. I don't know. I don't know what the. I do know. I do know how racist the people can be. But if we had to say which one's worse, the state or the people,
They,
I would
in order
say
to show the films in China, they have to go through the state and they have to follow the state guidelines. So, if anything, it was the state that mandated specific changes in the marketing. So
that's
that's
what I'm
what I
saying.
think
Because the
is
state
probably
has
what
that
happened there.
mommy power, that nanny.
If Disney continues to do the exact same thing in China, it's because it's required
It
of
has
them
to.
by
Yeah.
the government. Um,
Or they can't
Otherwise,
show their film.
yeah. And
yes,
the thing is, then you would, because that's what makes it like so hypocritical. Because it's like, oh look, we want to champion representation or whatever, and then instead of saying, which obviously I know it costs a lot of money, a lot of money is a very easy thing to say, but it costs a lot of money to say, fine, then you know what, we don't accept your requirements, China. Screw
they.
you. Wasn't it?
I think they're just
Wasn't it?
happy to have a mermaid film in China. There was
Can we
a
have a mermaid film?
there was a Chinese billionaire who tried to make a film about mermaids, and he spent a ton of money doing it, bringing in actors from all over the place and outside the country to make it popular and famous. But it was a disastrous shoot to the point one of the actresses tried to quit the movie, and they wound up kidnapping her to finish the film. The government did. They stopped her from leaving. They seized her visa, and the whole thing just completely wound up falling apart. And I could be wrong, but I think the man himself disappeared after the whole thing, after the fiasco. So I think they're just kind of happy to have a mermaid film in China. After all,
That didn't require any sort of kidnapping.
but Disney itself is has, and all of its umbrella companies. There's not one of them that has. Oh, look at this. Before we move on,
The Rotten Tomatoes situation with this movie is interesting. It's got a 95%, and I don't doubt that this movie can be 95%, okay? But it was 95% yesterday. It's 95% today.
Yeah, but
And if you
that's
check
the
the unverified, it's
verified audience.
51.
Okay.
can you click
well,
on that?
even the
Yeah.
verified audience can
So if you go
fluctuate.
all audience, it'll go low. It'll be lower.
What does it say that you've got to actually do some clicking to find the all audience, to see these
Mhm.
half stars and to see all these things, 1
Yeah,
star.
go back
What,
results. There's like a way to get it where it actually shows the
The
percentage.
number. Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a percentage place.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you have to go back to the original screen. Okay, so I think it was like if you click on I think it's like
Yeah.
click up, go back to the
I rem-
95. Like
Here?
yeah.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it'll
there we
ask
go.
all
All
audience.
audience.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so it went up. It did go
With
up. It went from
10,000.
51
It
to
did go up,
54.
yeah.
I
It was
understand
like
that.
30 something, wasn't it?
I get what you guys are trying to tell me right now, and like, yes, there's going to be people who are unverified who do this, but the verified audience is the one that's highest profile. And yes, it can be 95, but tomorrow, if it's still 95, then it stayed at 95 for 3 days, and it didn't go down to
And
94,
that doesn't
dip to
yeah.
93, maybe go back to 96, then maybe go down to 97 to 90 to
A
89, back to
natural
95.
one does.
It's
You're saying.
supposed to move, and with
Mhm.
2,500, it's basically 1,000 more than last time, and it
Is
hasn't
this
budged.
is this discrepancy like how do we see this with any other sort of film? You know,
Right? Yeah, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker did it.
is it like this?
Yep, and this is
Yeah.
the second time that I noticed it. If they're doing this because they know hate campaigns are going to start, just say
Mhm.
that. Don't lie to me and be like, "Oh yeah, here's the verified," and it'll always be 95. When I check a month from now, and it's not going to say 2,000 scores, it's going to be like 100,000 scores, and you're telling me it's still 95 and it didn't budge. We'll see. Or I could be wrong, right? It is very likely. It's possible that yesterday it was 95% and today it's 95% and no shenanigans. I know that. That's possible. But because of what I know happened with Rise of Skywalker, where I went daily, it was 86% with the verified audience. I'm like, all right, you just fixed it at that number. Don't lie to us.
And then with IMDb, I saw because I was looking at I was watching some videos about it, and then IMDb as well. So I saw somebody in the comments saying that on the IMDb it said they had applied some sort of weighting on to ensure it's a balanced review. IMDb said there's some sort of weighting that they've applied, and to ensure it's fair, they're not explaining why. I don't know if that's true. It's just I read it in a comment. So if you know, that would be yes.
Whatever it is, I support it.
What the
If it's
weighting?
like only a brand new account that came in, we can't count it as verified. It's the first ever review, so we're going to consider it part of the hate campaign. All right, that makes sense to me. Fine, but don't fix your verified reviews at 95 when I know it could not stay that high.
That's the thing that IMDb has it fixed. Hey, what did you get there?
Well, it's not for you. On IMDb, you can go back and take a look and see what percentage of the audience gave it what particular score. You could actually go and see 1%. How many people hit 1%, how many people hit 5, 10, whatever the stars rating was, and you could see that the people that rated it poorly, a specific one poorly, or 10 ones and tens were 95% of the reviews. So I forget exactly which movie I had done that on. I took a look at it, and they had basically they were trolling both ways. Supporters and haters were the only ones giving it the score out of the big thing. Can't see that on Rotten Tomatoes. They're not letting you can't really tell which one, what's going on. Because if you could, you might see that people are spamming and trolling one way or the other. So that's my opinion.
Did
after
MSK
listening
change
to
your
that rap,
subheader? Did MSK change your subheader?
MSK changed mine?
No. Kid, did he change your subheader? Well, because you know how sometimes he screws around and changes people's like.
no,
their
I made
subhead-
it.
Oh.
I said I'm your simp. I made it up. He didn't do it. I hasn't
Sorry to interrupt you.
hasn't changed
I just
mine.
I just about ready to like backhand him into next week, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, they're leaving us again. What is this? Whenever we talk to each other, just We're gonna do that on your stream. Just invite the boys so that we can kick them off every time they talk. I mean, kick ourselves out every time they talk to each other. I don't know.
I
It's so
told
weird.
MSK that he wasn't invited to the ladies' stream. He got all offended.
That's funny. You know what? No, I'm not going to say anything about that.
I didn't get anything. I didn't
Let's
hear it.
see.
Women.
Everyone
Can't
says
live with
hi.
him, can't bury him in the backyard.
Tell me about it.
Speaking of women, what's up with Kathleen Kennedy? Her and the whole Disney and thing. Hey now.
Kids in the background edition.
Kids in the background edition. That's right.
So that's why we didn't read out that message.
Bleeding Cool says, look what Disney and Kathleen Kennedy have done to Indiana Jones. Here's a promo clip of an argument during a 10-mile-per-hour golf cart race between Indy and the charmless Phoebe Waller-Bridge that makes Crystal Skull look like a masterpiece. And they believe this clip will sell tickets. Price of Reason says, update, Kathleen Kennedy's day at Lucasfilm. Star Wars Galactic Cruiser closes. Indiana Jones receives poor reviews. Willow is removed from Disney Plus as a cost-cutting measure. And then finally, Indiana Jones and the... Oh, I got to move something real quick. Nope, wrong one. Did I hide it? Nope. Yeah. Hang on, one more. Oh, I didn't reveal anything. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destinies at a 43% from the critics. So, plenty of people have predicted Kathleen Kennedy's demise, often too early, and she's still there ruining their favorite products. But something was said recently on IGN about remakes and what should be done to improve the remakes. They said they should be targeted towards today's audience, not yesterday's audience, and things should be improved on that were messed up years ago. And I would wager to think that that's what Disney has been doing this entire time with Star Wars, with Willow, with Indiana Jones. They were making the improvements for today's audience that they felt spoke to today's society and today's mentality, which means that Indiana Jones is an old buffoon from a bygone era that needs to be replaced by a younger, modern whammon that sees and knows all and does everything appropriately and should carry on the franchise from this point on. What do you guys think?
I think someone pissed her off. I mean, like, that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I mean, she's just like going after franchise after franchise. So I want to know who pissed her off.
So you're saying like it's on purpose?
I mean, it has to be at this point. I mean, before, okay, I could see maybe once doing it, but every single thing she touches, I mean,
I would love to believe that for her own sake, that you know what, she's just not that incompetent. It's for real.
Or she's doubling down. Like she said, hey, let's do a woman swap on something. And they're like, oh, okay, it failed. Well, I'm going to just keep on doing it until it works.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a doubling down. It's like, it's going to work. Don't worry, it's going to work. And then if they get, but the thing is, if they had to do this and then get a good story, the moment they have a good story with a female lead, it's going to be like, you see? And be like, no, guys, because that's not the actual... Oh, God, I'll finish my... Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's not the actual problem. The problem is the way that they're doing it, the way they're shoving the woman in there.
I mean, let's go back to real quick, 1883. A man wrote a woman better than Kathleen Kennedy, who's a woman, has written pretty much any woman. So I'm like, I mean, that was a female-led character or series, 1883. So it's like,
yeah,
jeez,
exactly. So it's possible. So I guess she maybe she's just hoping that at some point it'll happen, and then she'll be like, you see me injecting the female thing, and then there's going to be the argument from the fandom where it's like, no, this was just done well. It's not. This does not mean that you now need to go and do all of this ideology thing going forward. But luckily for us, I suppose, it hasn't been done well, and it's only been thought ideology first, story later, and it's all failing, and she has doubled down. I honestly, what does she know about people that she hasn't been chucked?
She's got photos.
She got photos. She knows where bodies are buried. That's what I
She have a really good contract or a really
So
good.
saying she Epsteined her way to the top.
I
You
don't
said
know.
that. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that. Don't put words in my mouth. Daisy, they're putting words in my mouth, yeah?
And we got photos to back it up. Chill.
The problem is, yeah, Indiana Jones should appeal to Indiana Jones fans because it did appeal to Indiana Jones fans. And if enough fans
That's what
see it,
you're
they're like,
banking
oh, this took me back. Yo, you got to see Indy. It took us 10 years and we got another one that was just the way we like it. They're going to promote it to the other people around. And when you say, I haven't seen the movie, but if it is to say that there's going to be a new person who you should like in this world, and this new one is going to get a film franchise spanning out for the next 20 years, if that's your goal of this movie and it's not Indiana Jones, then you get what you get. That audience score from the critics, who are supposed to be shilling for you, but they still gave you that score. Fine. I hope this movie flops. I think the people who are mad at the producer are so many that Star Wars fans are just going to say, no, I can't give my dollars here because she has a bad track record, what she did with Luke, what she did with Han too. But like, when I give my dollars here, I'm basically keeping her employed. But if this movie flops, Disney will have a reason to go, hey, you're not studio heading properly, so you're no longer studio head.
She
I
did
think this should have
have
happened long ago.
she had a great track record in the 80s and the 90s as being a producer of number one films, and she was tied to Chris Columbus and some others back in the day. And if Quentin Tarantino is to believe you've only got 10 good films in you, hers are all past. So there you go. Just to go back real quick and answer Bry's question, it was the Runaways that was taken off of Hulu and Disney Plus. Runaways being an official or an exclusive to Hulu when it first originally came out. Too. And and the thing about that is that they are following the WB format, and they're now starting to cut streaming programs that aren't getting any views to save server space and save money and not pay out residuals. So it's a cost-cutting measure for why that went out. Yes, that was it.
Maybe then you shouldn't make them if they're not worth the cost of keeping on your streaming service.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah. I know that when I tried for a while to host my own films and things, I had to rent the server space from the number one supplier of server space rentals, Amazon Web Service. And that gets costly after a while. And if you are not getting ad revenue from the films that you're streaming, then it's just costing you money. That's all it does. Every single one of them costs them money to house, which is why stuff that wasn't being watched was getting removed from Discovery WB platforms. Mostly HBO and Warner stuff. Not a lot of the Discovery things. But that's what had happened with that. And so Kathleen Kennedy is under contract, and she will continue to be under contract. I don't think it will be renegotiated. I think when her time is up, they will send her out with a nice gold watch, a fun little bonus, and wish her a great deal of happiness in her future endeavors.
Didn't Dusty Rhodes say that? They give you a nice little watch. Were you referencing the Hard Times promo?
Not exactly. If I
Hey,
did,
a
it was
computer took
unintentional.
your job, buddy.
So that is pretty much that for the topics that I wanted to cover. Cole wanted to cover a couple of things, but he didn't show, so we're not going to do that. How about that? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But what we do have is the return of
The diabetes reminders.
lightning round. Today's lightning round will feature things to choose from. So this or that is what we're going to be doing with the lightning round this time around. This or that. From one side to the other, only two choices. Will you choose this or will you choose that? And we'll start with Chill, since he's right up here in the corner. And we'll work our way down to Kitty and then Miss 1776, unless you got more to say about Kathleen Kennedy.
No, I can't say it on your channel. I'll say it on mine later. I realize that now that I started my own thing, I can go ahead and get my own self banned. I don't have to get anybody else's channel banned with my opinions.
So, Kitty, even though we're not starting with you, I want you to have a good look at this because you're going to have to make a hard choice. Chill?
Ooh.
We going with chocolate fish or fresh fruit fish?
We're going fresh fruit. That's what we're going to promote today and be on brand with how we started the stream. Fruit.
Kitty?
I'm with Chill on this one. Fruit is the way to go.
1776?
Yeah, me too, actually. I'm going to go with the fruit.
I love me some chocolate.
Ah.
So it's not a clean sweep. Bry says he will go with the fruit fish.
Yes. Boo.
Chocolate. I've got two more chocolates coming my way, so it's almost even with the chocolates. Coming up next, we have cotton candy or cotton candy flavored cupcakes. Chill.
Man. That cotton candy getting sticky and maintaining it is impossible. Those cupcakes, one bite. Let's go cupcakes.
Kitty?
I'm the same. Just instinctively, I'm like, yeah, let's go for the cupcakes. Also, just more substance. Like, I'm over the whole melting in your mouth thing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss 1776?
I hate cotton candy, so I'm wiping off the frosting and eating the cupcake.
Oh, you don't eat frosting?
No, I hate cotton candy. Isn't it like supposed to be like cotton candy frosting?
Oh, it tastes cotton candy. Oh, it's cotton candy frosting. I still eat it.
I'll give something. I'll give cotton candy. You only have it at events. You're at a theme park or something special. You can get this cupcake at the grocery store on your checkout, on your way out. So, like, cotton candy is special. I'll give it that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, having my two boys and putting on our own fairs at home, we have our own cotton candy maker.
Whoa.
With different flavors of sugars. So if I don't go with cotton candy, I will have a horrible afternoon. So I got to go with cotton candy.
Yay.
Back to the vegetables.
Have
We
you guys
have
seen the song?
grilled corn and boiled corn.
I like. Again, it's about the atmosphere. If I'm cooked and the grilled corn is there, it's probably at a barbecue or I'm with people. If I'm at home, you'll get the boiled corn. So just for the atmosphere, let's go to the grilled corn.
I'm gonna go with boiled because I don't want if you've grilled the. Yeah, I don't like the what's the name? Blackness.
Kernel?
What is it? Yeah.
The char?
The char, there you go. That's it. I'm not a fan. I can eat both, but if I'm gonna choose, I want the nice, clean corn.
Miss 1776.
I'm gonna go with the boiled. I mean, I like both, but I'm going with the boiled. It looks really good in that picture.
Well, I just happen to have made a purchase of a brand new smoker, a pellet grill, to be exact.
Pellet.
And
Oh yeah.
and so I have to go with the racism here and pick the darker of the two, slathered in lemon rubbed with butter. Man, that sounds great.
I've sent the song that this makes me think of. It's in the private chat if you want to have.
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's a very wholesome song.
Very wholesome song. Okay.
I mean, are you being sarcastic or is it actually
No.
wholesome?
It is.
And here comes a tough one. Here comes a very, very tough one. Lovable kitties or edible kitties?
They're the same thing.
We're back to China.
Disgusting.
God. Let's go with the lovable kitties.
I'm gonna
Kitty?
go lovable kitties because I've got one right here. I would definitely prefer having her. Not to eat, just to love.
Miss 1776.
Well, what kind of
how's your blood
edible are we-
sugar?
What kind of edible are we talking about here? Or was it like edible, or is it like just like a cookie, normal thing?
I think these are donuts, actually.
Okay, well,
dipped
then I'll
and
take the
decorated
donut.
with icing.
Eating donuts.
And y'all ain't even tried kitten soup. Not that we know
Whoa.
of. I believe they call that wonton. I'm going to have to go with the, because of my blood sugar, I'll have to go with lovable kitties.
Mm-hmm. They're a service animal that could decrease your blood pressure. That's what they say.
Okay, here's the original. Sorry, I put that in there.
This
Where are
is
we going
tough.
with this one? Sonic or Mario?
Are we talking the film or are we talking the entirety of Sonic and Mario?
The film, specifically these two films.
I will say Sonic.
I think I'd go. Yes, thank you, Nico. You know how you're good. You're clever. You know how to answer. Oh my God, I will hurt. No, never mind, Nico. Whatever I just said, screw that.
So
Yeah, I
which
think
way
I'd
you
also
going,
go-
Kitty?
I'd also go Sonic,
Sonic?
but
Okay.
I've seen Sonic. That's why, and I enjoyed it. So.
You haven't seen the Mario movie?
No, not yet.
Oh my goodness. Miss 1776?
Oh, I'm going Mario for sure.
Face blue, smiling face blue. I don't get that. Oh well.
Oh, I think
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an emoji on
It's an emoji. It
YouTube.
just doesn't come through properly.
I am so old. Oh, look at that. Everything tastes like chicken. I'm going to have to go with Mario. My boys really
No.
loved that movie. They did like Sonic, but as far as the franchises go, they will support the Mario more than they will anything else. So I must stick with family. And now the hardest decision of them all.
I don't know.
Specifically, music-wise, the early years versus the later years.
I like a lot of Jackson 5 songs. I Want You Back might be the best ever song, so we're going to take it way back. But it's Michael Jackson. Even the further years, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Yeah, we'll go Black Mike. I mean, they're both Black Mike, but way back Mike.
Yeah, I think he added the extra L in back mic.
Yeah, that's what happens. Early years.
Yeah, I'd also go
Ooh.
early years.
Patrick's picking the duet.
Yes.
Well, there goes Tony with a bad choice.
Was Man in the Mirror light or dark?
I believe that was later in the vitiligo years.
Yeah.
So
I don't like to watch that music video because it's so sad.
it's very
Yeah.
very very prophetic is what it was.
Cole.
Oh, somebody got called out. Somebody got Miss 1776.
Oh,
Which Jackson? And if you want to just choose between the albums, that's fine. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I mean, I know the music, but I don't know which song goes to which album. So, I mean, I don't know if I can really pick.
Who looks cuter? Which would you date?
Oh, I ain't answering that question either. Kitty, what's your answer?
I said the earlier.
Oh, okay, you did answer. Rosales, what was your answer?
Well, I'm a traditionalist, and I do remember watching the Jackson 5 on TV, so I'm gonna have to go with Early Mike on this because he got weird when he went out on his own.
Allegedly.
So, nope. Building yourself a theme park is weird, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Are you calling Dolly Parton weird?
Yes.
I thought we had him.
I was too quick for that, huh? Too quick with that answer?
Yeah.
Cole, let's hear your opinion on Michael Jackson.
Left.
Your left or my left?
What?
What?
So you're
bow
also-
tie or leather jacket? How about that? That's easy enough for
Bow
you.
tie.
You're a racist white man.
So that's it for the lightning round. That's all I had for that. But now that Cole has shown up, Cole,
Yes.
you wanted to talk about robotic men or something like that?
Oh, sure. What you mean by that? What topic?
You sent a video about the guy who had a computer
Oh,
chip put
oh,
into
yeah.
his head, and now he can walk where he couldn't walk before.
Yeah,
Because
it was,
now his brain is able to communicate.
paralyzed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's like being controlled by the person like with the laptop. Yeah.
You mean like with a...
Oh,
someone
he's
just
controlled with
working
a
his
laptop
legs?
or his brain. Also,
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
not
on the
sure.
1776. I've got a sim. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, but you have the video, right?
I don't have the video up. No, I did not.
It's just right here. Yes.
But yeah, Elon Musk is doing a lot to propagate the combination. Get with the times.
They're called people of Robo, okay?
People of robotics.
They,
They're not. They're
disabled
not
people are
androids. They're
called
not humandroids.
humandroids. Here, disabled people are called people of determination.
And people of determination. Oh my!
Is that really a
goodness.
thing now?
Yeah, that's literally what they're called here
Wait,
in United Arab Emirates.
So does every building have a people of determination ramp?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an uphill battle.
Ah,
Hey!
man, I was trying to hold my composure. I'm like, I'm not gonna laugh. You're gonna be professional here, and you got me.
He did it. We had.
Robosexuals.
Okay, so are we gonna like? This is pretty cool.
Oh, did somebody? I
Paul
see.
Give us the video.
Yeah, it's
Let
in
me
the
see.
private chat of StreamYard.
All right, give me a second here. I will pull this up here.
So I know that the brain runs on
Right now.
frequencies. Is that what they're
With a
doing? They're
devi-
using a computer frequency? Wow.
Like,
Huh?
I mean, just the fact. Cycling accident can make again of an experiment. Okay, tell us how it works. That's insane. Don't. I hope that's real.
Oh, I didn't realize they were going to talk. I didn't want to get
Is he speaking English?
demonetized.
The brain implant picked up what I was doing with my hip, so that was the best outcome, I think, for everyone.
So the implant learned from him using his arms to interpret what he should be doing with his legs, and is able to reproduce that for him and send the signals.
Yeah, because it's lost communication, so it's found.
Now, if they know where the wiring is connecting, couldn't they just reconnect his brain to his legs? Like that?
Signals. Control.
So when everything is installed, the patient has first to learn how to work with his brain signals. And you also have to learn how to correlate this brain signal to the spinal cord stimulation. But this is pretty short. In a few sessions, everything is linked and the patient starts training.
Just an example, I'm training 10 years to stand up with a friend having a beer.
Wow.
And that's something I think people don't realize.
Wait. I had a cycling accident, and now with all of this great technology, the first thing I want to do is
have a beer.
Hang out, have a beer.
Priorities. No, it was with friends, okay? And guess what? It might be one of those alcohol-free ones.
Alcohol-free brains?
Beers.
Alcohol-free
There's
beer.
the 0% beers, yeah.
Oh, that's like it's like
Juice.
a really bitter water.
Yeah.
What that would be.
Brown water.
All right, so that's the kind of thing they tried to do with what do you call that disease? Where you do all the shaking,
Parkinson's?
Yeah.
Parkinson's, yes, Parkinson's. They had an implant that would circumvent some stuff that was going on, and Michael J. Fox got that implant into his head, and it was supposed to reduce tremors and give him back control over his body. And for a short time, it worked. In the long run, it seems not to be doing a whole lot other than subjecting him to open heart surgery. With my little legs, I will finally be able to kick my dog. I love that. That is hilarious.
Patrick.
What's up with this Elden Ring brainwave thing? Anybody know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that.
Cole, you know anything about that?
Chill? I would expect chill.
No, I don't know anything about that.
No, we don't know anything about that, Nico. Sorry.
Nico's a liar.
Yeah. I mean, there are
next stream, we'll look it up.
There are adaptive controllers though that do stuff like that. I believe like there's one where you can paralyze people can play with just like using their eyes.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're really working on accessibility for that for games.
They had used the ability to move your eyes to create a way of communicating. The computer would use a camera and follow your eyes, and you could use that to choose different letters or words or phrases and allow people who did not have the ability to speak anymore for neurological reasons to be able to speak. That's one of the ways that in the end Stephen Hawking was be able to communicate. Oddly enough, it restored his riz, and he left his wife for his assistant.
Wait,
It restored his
Stephen
riz.
Hawking, the one who's kind of immobile, Stephen Hawking?
Yes, yeah.
What's he going to do? I mean, how are you going to leave your wife to do what? Shake hands? You can't even shake hands. Sorry, but serious.
I think his famous last words were,
Nope, not laughing. Mm-mm.
We're not going to hell. We're not.
Just me? Okay. They mapped the brain waves to a specific controller button. She was beating bosses and everything.
I was on the wrong page when I heard beating. I was like, sorry, what? What is she doing? What is this woman doing to Hawking? Beating what?
No, that was not, that. She was the one who was playing Elden Ring with her brain, as opposed to not using her brain. But
No, they had
fingers.
that going a while ago. With people trying to move the mouse and stuff with their brain waves. All of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think
I roll
I
my
think
eyes
with
too much.
when it comes to Stephen Hawking, I think probably they built a relationship beforehand. She was the one who would interpret for him before he got the rapid eye movement thing and was able to speak on his own through a computer voice.
Yeah.
He would go on speaking, and then she would interpret it and speak in human tongue
his voice.
to the audience. Yes. So the connections were made well before he had the ability to speak. So
I get that, but what are you gonna do? I mean, how are you gonna cheat at that point? I guess is what I'm my.
We don't want to hear. We don't want to know what goes on below the belt.
I don't shop in that section of the bookstore, so I don't know. I never picked up those videos.
Oh yeah,
Too
you
specific.
covered this, right?
It just seems very expensive because I'm sure there was a divorce. I'm sure there wasn't a prenup. I'm just.
And yet, she was around him more than his wife was.
Yeah, it was
she-
just an emotional affair. Could have been.
Yeah.
As I'm saying, if it was
absolutely.
emotional, well, why even leave at that point? I mean, why not just okay? We
Is
can
that what you're
talk and
saying?
be
Like,
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the best news today.
Oh, the thing. Oh, what's his name? He had a name.
Harambe.
Harambe. Everyone
It's
knew his name.
You forgot Harambe? Is that the joke? That you forgot Harambe? Is that
No, I
the joke?
remembered him. I remember him, and he was killed right after this when he wasn't really assaulting he was like pretty getting them to up, pulling them keeping them all alive and stuff. But they viewed that as a dangerous animal in 2016 and killed him.
Yeah,
I remember the story.
Also, by the way, Chill, yeah, you said you didn't believe me when I said where I live now, so just look at the trending thing there. It's like, how much do I have to believe, dude, for you to believe?
What's happening? Where is it saying? Oh, Celtics.
Hmm.
In
Where am I
Vamos
supposed to
Costa
look?
Rica.
Morados.
Trending
Costa Rica.
tabs.
What?
Oh,
What? You're still in South America, aren't you?
Central. Yeah, no, Chill didn't believe me when I said I moved there, so yeah,
well,
I'm just
you
showing
could
him the
ask
trending
it.
bar.
You can
Yeah,
let it tell you where you're
According
supposed
to my Twitter, I'm still in South Africa, I think.
Yeah, see?
No, actually, it still says United Arab Emirates. Sorry, but if you put a VPN on,
So easy.
I'm skeptical. I'm not buying it.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
definitely do that, WC, easily.
I think they needed his meth lab skills down there. So. All right. So that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we got. Unless you wanted to talk about what was going on with the PlayStation
state of play. Oh no, what
state
is
of play.
Yeah, I mean, I just threw it again. I just if I see something new, then I'll just throw it out there. So I just do that out there. I don't know if like anybody else actually cares enough about games, though, and I didn't really care much about too many of the topics either. Besides like a couple, mainly Alan Wake because I loved the first game.
Did you say Alan Wake?
Yeah, have you never played it? I would recommend it.
No.
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
sort of like a Twin Peaks inspired story game that goes for really like cheesy horror thriller factor, and I think it really works well. Now they're making like a psychological.
I got a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old, so I haven't played games in what almost 9-10 years.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
I'm
I'll say
not
that there
allowed
are
to,
some short story games so that you could easily get into that maybe like 3 hours long where you don't need to do too much like controller wise. Like recommend What Remains of Edith Finch is one of them. If you ever want to try that.
Well, what I'm saying is that I don't have control over my platforms. I do got the control.
Oh,
the
right,
consoles.
yeah, because it's too right. They're busy. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not yours actually.
Not anymore. I paid for them, but they're not mine. So.
Did you see the only thing that even made me realize that state of play or whatever was happening was Chris Reagan shared a video of Bungie trailer, him reacting to a Bungie trailer of Marathon. Did you care much about that one? I didn't know anything about Marathon before. Cole?
Oh yeah, is that the new game they're making? I guess. Yeah, I believe it's like a remake of an old game that they used to make in the past. So it should be interesting.
It looked really cool.
Yeah, there are
thing
some
that looked
really
cool.
old games that looked really
Cool
cool.
art
That
stuff.
it'd be cool if they remade, but they're really not. Taken advantage of, but now they are, I guess. Also, why is the headline that?
Because you play.
We need background music.
I'll play.
We
don't need background. We have it. That was very good.
Yeah.
What I'm going to try and do now this evening is there we go. Is Wheel of Time watch party if anyone's interested. Will be on the Discord doing that because.
So will you be broadcasting that or?
Yeah, not on any channel other than on Discord. So, after getting my beautifully damaged book, yeah, I'm ready to talk a lot more about this. So we're gonna restart it, and I've sorted out an issue that we had last time. So if anyone wants to do that, just join the Discord, my Discord, and
which
it
is
would be
that
nice if you
darn
guys
kitty?
could join too. Yeah. I can put the link, but if you go to my channel, it's there as well. But I think everyone who already is interested has joined the Discord in any case. But yeah.
I think Nico will be there, definitely.
Yeah. So we're restarting, and I'm going to have the book to show you how it should have been done. Yeah.
Bryce says he's going to get Resident Evil 4 remake this week, and that looks great too. Chill, do you do any of the do you do the gaming?
Pokemon Go, the occasional Mario game.
Give me your friend code, Chill.
Okay.
So I can add you on Pokemon Go and do remote raids.
Miss 1776?
Oh, I don't play Pokemon Go. I know, I'm boring. I think I stopped at Sun and Moon, and I still haven't finished it.
There's a lot of reading in Sun and Moon where you just gotta button mash A so that they can tell you stuff you already know about the franchise.
Well, see, I went off to go kind of catch the shiny Pokemon because they were kind of, easier in that game to catch. And then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot where I left off. And now I'm like stuck in a field and I don't know what my next objective is. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I smell Heaven's Bakery cooking up something good for you, sister.
Oh, jeez. Lovely clip. Lovely clip.
I mean, you do have your PC, right, Rosales?
I do have my PC.
Yeah, I mean, you could use that. I mean, with Steam.
Yeah.
I could use that, yeah. Or I also got my brand new pellet smoker and a couple of sides of beef. So I happen to be doing old man things these days. Is what's happening.
Yeah, last week it was ribs. Weren't you doing that? Smoking ribs?
Yes,
yeah.
we did ribs, and they came out tender and juicy. Just it seemed like they could probably have gone a little bit longer to be completely fall off the bone. You can get the bone out in one piece. It just was not fall off the bone goodness. So a little bit longer, just a little bit higher, and I think we're good to go with the ribs. The same thing when it comes to the brisket. The brisket was not tender enough. The flavor was there. It just wasn't.
It was lacking that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. You could pull it apart, but it took a little more effort than you would want to when it comes to a brisket. You get those slices and you just take it and you just look at it mean and it falls apart. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Just say something unkind and watch it just fall apart in your hands. That's what I want when it comes to This week's meat is a pork butt roast. So we're going to be going
Pork
for
butts. Like
we're going to
in
be going for the what do they call that? Shredded pork type
pulled
thing?
pork.
Pulled pork.
Pulled-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I am a side of beef. That is true. Very much so.
Hey.
Yeah. And
Okay, wait.
when
Is
they draw
there
blood,
a section?
Is-
You should need to make a section in your Discord for
Oh.
for the food. I
For the
want to see the
food?
pictures. Yeah.
okay, yeah, sure, I can do that.
I demand it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all right. A lot of people don't know this. I do have a Discord channel where I talk about the comic books and games and things of that nature. One of the things I've been posting pictures of is this brand new book that we've got right here that's going to be coming out soon. Let me go to the solo layout real quick. This is Hero 6, Hero 6's, and it is the core superhero TTRPG gaming system, a complete rule set for
Cool.
role-playing based on comic books, and it is really super easy to get started. There's a one page that has the rules where you can just get up and go with character sheets that are available in the back of the book. And also, I got my first copy of the graphic novel for My Frankenstein, which is all 4 of the web issues, all in one. And I've got pictures of this also on the Discord. So that's what's going on with the Discord for me.
Get to order it
Right at
through the
this point.
people that I bought this through, because then it would come all bent like this
Yeah,
one.
but at least you would get it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
There's that. But I want that's. Can you do a playthrough of the game or like a play? I want to watch that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
As soon as we
That would be
get
cool.
everything ironed out, we're still actually working on the rules, but because it's a light core system that only requires 6-sided dice that anybody can get a hold of, it should be accessible to just about anybody at any given time. And you can, of course, with adding different modules as we make them, we'll be able to make the game as complicated as you want to. You know, you've got those big, thick rule books of different games that have all your charts and measurements and lists and graphs. So I'm hoping to get started on that at some point soon. But we're looking at possibly spring for the release of the Hero 6's
Awesome.
TTRPG.
That's exciting.
And I will be getting more copies of this and start going to conventions, signing these, and making these available for people to... Ooh, there's the publisher. There's where I go through. Kablam. Right there. Get your comic books made there at Kablam. So that's what I'll be doing at some point, is going and signing copies of the comic book and building towards more comic books. So, Jill, what have you got going on this week?
Working on my comic book. I mean, like, you know, thinking about ideas. I'm at the point of writing something, which I'm not going to release, by the way, but I'm writing it and I'm like, bro, how do I make it interesting now? I can think of what's going to happen in the future. I can think of the backstory, but I can't make issue 1 interesting. And yeah, you're years from seeing it, everybody, but that's where I am with writing.
The best part about writing is completing. Okay, you get that first draft done and down. It's not. You don't have to worry about it being good, because it won't. First drafts are never good. So it's just a matter of completing it, because if you don't put it down on paper and get it completed, you won't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Give you an example. This right here, it's printed already, right? So we got it printed, we've got the graphics in there and everything else, but it is not complete at all, and we didn't know that until we printed the book and looked at it. Even though we'd already looked at it, we know there's some things that can be added in here to make it a little bit smoother. So, Patrick says, all this comic book talk makes me want to learn how to read. The best part is pictures. All right. There are pictures in comic books, and good writing allows you to follow the pictures and see what's going on. Oh my goodness. She's going through a dark time. How do you know this? Because the picture is dark and she looks stressed. And she went from being bright and shiny to dark and moody. Ooh. Pictures in comic books, if you don't know how to read, will work. There's a picture for you right now. Guess what Bri is trying to say, Patrick? You can see because of the picture. But yeah, all you got to do is finish 1, and it'll help you get to 2, and it'll help you get to 3 and 4 and 5.
Were you just sniffing paper?
Yes, I love the smell of books, man. Even graphic novel books. Normal paperbacks smell better, but I do smell books. I mean, I buy books that smell. No, I'm not out my damn mind. This is where my mind is.
You know, where Cole buys his books, he doesn't want to sniff them.
Uh-oh. Oh, also Barnes & Noble does ship here, so that's what's gonna happen.
I don't even know what that means.
Barnes and Nobles is a book company that sells.
I mean the first comment where I buy books. I don't want to sniff them. What? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Does he get secondhand books?
I do know, like
my headset's already flat. What the hell?
My jokes are just like A24 films. You're left to interpret them yourself.
They don't make much money either.
Oh, there. Because it's almost like they're an indie studio. Damn.
Gene, are you here? Did you make it, Gene?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Good morning. We were just about to wrap up the show. We covered all kinds of different things. This morning we talked about the Fast and the Furious, number 10, and how it's going to be 11 and 12, and then another spinoff.
Okay.
We did a recap of Night of Champions, where we went over the different matches and the ref bumps and things. We did a quick prediction of Double or Nothing. We didn't ask this question. I skipped over this altogether. Will you play Fight Forever, which is a video game based on the AEW matches? There's a look at the cover of it right there. It's coming out. Minus, of course, Colt Cabana's best friend. So that's something that we glossed over pretty much. We talked about Little Mermaid making waves. We asked what was going on with Kathleen Kennedy, and we also did a lightning round game where you got to pick this or that. So, but we're glad you came all together.
Thank you, and thank you for the invite.
No. We would. We agree. We disagree on the Twitter. And I love it. You are a free-spirited voice that I thought everybody would enjoy having a listen to and having a talk to. And it makes for wonderful conversation to have different points of view, which is why you are invited to be on the show.
Thank you. Wish I could have made it. It's just that, Sunday, that's, Bible study. So, it literally just ended. That's why I'm even here. It ended a little early. But hopefully next time. There's always a next time, hopefully.
There's always a next time. Someday you will be snowed in and you'll be at home.
True.
No, Bible study is important.
It'll snow at some point.
It'll snow at some point, and we'll have you on the show, and we'll be happy to have you there. So I'll keep a look on the weather report and make sure you have a link when it's a bad weather day. So.
All right.
But what did you learn in Bible study? What did they cover today?
Oh, today it was just about the sort of God's creation, flowers, nature, things of that nature, and just showing appreciation to the Creator for all that.
That's a good lesson to learn. As my son likes to tell me, I need to go out and touch grass. So,
Dad, go touch grass.
That was a beautiful sunny day, and
yeah, I'll be outside touching grass and grabbing some spices and rubbing some meat. So I'm going to be using the smoker this afternoon for the pulled pork and we'll get that started tonight, and hopefully it'll be done by tomorrow morning. So a good, nice, long
sounds
smoke.
good.
So it's going to be good. We're practicing. We've been practicing our meats every weekend because we've got a cookout happening on the 4th of July. So it's going to
be ready?
we're going to have a nice big extravaganza. We're going to have everything you could find at the barbecue place. We're going to have the pulled pork, the brisket, the ribs, and for the kids, we'll have the hot dogs and the sausages, which we'll do the day of. But we're going to be smoking a lot of stuff for a couple of days before the 4th. So it's going to be good.
Oh, okay.
Chill, you're invited if you can make it down.
Sure. I'll let you know.
I know it's not quite the Independence Day you look forward to down up in Canada, but you're welcome to come down. Cole, if you don't want to fight extradition, you are also welcome.
Welcome for what? Sorry.
Oh, for nothing. Thanks for nothing. That's what you're welcome for.
But,
Okay, thanks.
if I can give sort of my brief synopsis on at least some of the topics that you guys covered, because I saw it kind of scrolling at the bottom earlier. When it comes to Duel, it's like I'm always kind of in a rock and a hard place because I don't agree with WWE doing shows over there for the benefit of the Saudi government or the royal family or whatnot. So I have a lot of criticism on that regard. But if we're talking about the matches themselves, from what I heard, seemed well enough. I'm happy that Asuka won. Although, in my opinion, it's kind of like too little, too late. She should have won at WrestleMania, and nothing's going to change my opinion on that.
Well, when she came out,
win, damn it.
when she came out, they blew her intro to begin with. When they brought her up from NXT, she was undefeated. She had to release her championship undefeated. She comes in and they just botch her entire entrance to begin with. What was that match she had with that forgettable woman whose name I don't remember right now? It was a well thought out, well played match with full of psychology. However, she was not supposed to be that over Asuka and be that much trouble, according to and they fired her for it. So they hired her back, but it doesn't matter. The point is that Asuka now has the belt, and the crowd was not behind her at the beginning of the match, but by the time she won the belt, they were 100% behind her taking the belt from the current champion. So
Bianca. I think people just wanted the belt. I mean, I like Bianca, right? I have no issue with her as a performer. I think she's great. Though I do think that, she needs to add some submission work. That's probably what pissed me off the most about her winning at Mania. I'm like, you want me to believe that the younger competitor who has no submission training to her name is going to defeat the submission specialist who's been at this since she was in her 20s. I'm like, come on now. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. I understand there's like you sort of have to what's it called? The suspension of like disbelief to enjoy it. Yes. But it's like exactly, it's like, come on now, make it make sense. But then even what was it? Bianca and Io at Backlash, they were totally behind Io in Puerto Rico. So I think it was just time. Hopefully they use this time for Bianca to learn other facets of wrestling, or at least let her use it. Those things where maybe like she knows how, like Bianca Crawford, the person, knows some submission holds, but they don't allow the character of Bianca Belair to actually use them. So hopefully they'll actually allow her to show another facet to her wrestling, and maybe they'll turn her into a tweener or a heel, because I just think the character, she got this whole sort of black girl version of John Cena, the white meat, always smiling baby face. That type of thing I don't think it goes over well. And I know personally it's always annoyed me after a while. It's like I was never a fan of a Hulk Hogan or anyone, hi, yeah. type of person. I'm like, give me some edge, give me some anger.
Well, she started off even in NXT. She was a heel, and that's
Yeah,
where
she
that's where
was.
she cut her teeth. Also, I don't think when they gave her the belt that she was ready for it. To her credit, she has stepped up her game and improved over time. I don't think she's improved to the point where she's actually as effective as she should be. Like you said, her submission game is kind of low. But there's still room for her to grow. The problem is that she had the run that Asuka should have had when she came out, and Asuka never got her turn. And now I think they're trying to keep her from leaving whenever her contract is up. So it's the politics creeps into the game too much, and
Oh yeah,
too much
certainly.
too
Yeah.
much. Vince does a Vince thing where he's going to counter the program because it amuses himself as opposed to amusing,
Right.
giving the crowd what they want. Anytime the crowd wants something, Vince will give you the opposite because it's funny to him. So now that he's back in charge
Right.
for
Yeah.
life, I'm worried now that they're adding robotics to people and computer chips because Vince could live forever.
I mean, for me, mainly, it was also, I just thought the run was poorly booked and everything. But this is my problem with the majority of the things with the women's division. The matches are almost always great, but yeah, the way they book like feuds and storylines for the most part, like it's like they put no effort into it. It's like it's always last minute who they face, but then so because of that, going into the matches, even if they're great, I have no interest automatically. So at best, it's like 50-50 enjoyment for me. And then the ones that they do end up doing a great job with that everybody wanted, and then they gave us, like years ago, like Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Then they always find a way to ruin it. Like, okay, let's shove Charlotte in there. Yay!
Yeah.
You're paying that much for a toy, you got to put it out sometimes.
Huh?
Charlotte, they're paying a lot to keep Charlotte, and
Yep.
not using her doesn't make any sense. It's like Jay Leno keeping all of his cars in a garage. You pay so much for a toy, you got to you got to take it out on the street every now and
Yeah,
then.
I mean, like using her. Sorry. I mean, like using Charlotte is not the problem. Charlotte, I think, deserves to be in the upper of the main card, main event. But like, how do I put it? It's like it's one thing if you have like a 10, 20-year career, and you retire, like the way Cena did, or Flair, or others did, having had all these different championships, and you have like 15, 16, 17 title reigns to your name at the end of a career. But Charlotte's got what, like 100?
Yeah, and that's
My
the problem.
Near
It's like the
retirement. Yeah.
favorites they pick. It's like
I
they
think the
don't
problem
realize.
is that.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, they don't realize with some of them that they play favorites with, like Charlotte. It's like, yeah, they don't. You can still keep them there. You don't have to give them titles, though. You can do other stuff. Like you've done it with other wrestlers, but not the ones you play favorites with. Like, why not have her in like a street fight instead at WrestleMania and keep that as a 2-person match? That you just ruin the match by doing that, shoving her in it.
I don't mind Charlotte winning the belt as long as she earns it. If she goes through a program where it winds up where she's facing for the title, that's fine. That's great. Let's build on this. Let's make this a story.
Why
That's
you
going
didn't
to
like
last
it when
a
her and
couple of
Sasha
months.
Banks were playing hot potato with it like 15 times? You didn't like that?
Well, I don't like when she's off for 6 months, comes back in, gets thrown into a match, and then takes off with the belt. That's what I don't enjoy because
I watched
then it
Jonathan
doesn't feel
Majors
earned.
did it in Creed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fair point.
Yeah. We're not talking.
Especially
Jonathan Majors today.
when
We
she's
tried
not
to-
the biggest
tried to
star of the
enjoy it one day.
company.
But what else? What else did you want to speak on there, Gene?
Okay, well, if we're still talking about Night of Champions, stealing someone said they're stealing food. But let's see. terribly predictable outcome of Seth Rollins becoming the new world heavyweight champion with that ugly version of the WC belt, which is like, okay, I'm not surprised. He's a Triple H guy. Triple H has always favored himself, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, they
So,
did put on a solid match. It was a pay-per-view caliber match. It was not anything to write home about. There was a solid-looking brainbuster to the apron that Seth Rollins took, and Hot Pocket. I don't know what she's eating.
It's a wrap.
Oh, that's it. It's a wrap. But yeah, it was a good match. It took a couple of curb stomps. They used some in-ring psychology to play a busted knee for Seth Rollins, and so it took a couple of curb stomps for him to win. So all in all, a pretty solid match. Would have been a banger of a match for a Monday or a Saturday or a Friday, and well enough for a pay-per-view, I think.
Okay, well, let's see. What else was there? I guess the biggest thing, of course, is it looks like the bloodline is broken up with Jimmy, of all people, actually hitting the super kicks on Roman. So I guess that's the biggest thing. I can't tell at times what they're going to do. It's like, first it seems like it's going to be Jay who will be that, figure that finally cracks in the bloodline and openly opposes Roman. And then all of a sudden it's Jimmy throwing kicks. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you see, I forgot all that existed because I only watch good wrestlers' stories and matches. Sorry.
The bloodline is up. The bloodline has achieved what they were going to do. They were menacing for all these years. 1,000 days. How long has Roman Reigns has this title? 1,000 days. You know he's going to lose that title.
Yeah, about 1,000 days.
He's dropping it to whoever, whether The Rock comes back and challenges him, if that ever happens, whether, I don't know, Big E returns and he wants to be the champion. Someone is taking that from him now because he's gone through the roster and it's time to end it. It's over.
And maybe in those 1,000 days, maybe like 250 of those were good. There.
No, they see money in him, and what's going to happen is it's going to go 2,000. He's going to make an unbeatable streak.
That sucks, though, because it feels like he's been the guy since like 2015, and the amount that Vince was trying, even though he wasn't always champion at the times, it's like, this guy's beating The Undertaker. Like, Undertaker had how many years left? 2 years left. And they're like, you know what? Roman's got to beat you before you go. We got to make him a star. That's going to work. Didn't work. People still hate him. He's going to win the Royal Rumble, toss the Giant over the top. That didn't work. He's going to everything you can possibly think about.
Yeah.
He got to slap Stephanie McMahon. Remember that? Remember Stephanie McMahon was speaking at him, and then he got to be the guy to shut her up, or he held her hand, I think, before she was
it's insane.
Yeah.
I hate John Cena for all my life, but even him is better than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because John Cena could actually speak on the microphone.
Well, when he's not giving garbage PG scripts at points, yes, but also the Thugonomics gimmick was at least good, and so he was good for a certain stretch in his title runs, and then also, he at least when he was, even though if you give it to literally anybody in the company, they can have the same exact matches. It's not better, so it's just biased with him. But at least he could have some 5-star matches here and there. Roman Reigns can't do shit in the ring outside of like fucking 5 moves.
No, I'm sorry. John Cena cannot have a 5. How do I put it? John Cena.
Oh, he has.
Look, I respect his career. In my opinion, he himself has never had a 5-star match. He's not a 5-star match wrestler. He was blessed to be in the company at a time where you had wrestlers like Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, all these others who elevate him and make him look good. One of his best matches was early in his career, the street fight against Eddie Guerrero. This is when John was heel. John didn't make a match. Eddie made John look good. It's not that John made Eddie look good; it's the reverse. So in my opinion, his matches, he worked with once in a lifetime generational talents who carried the match and made him look better than he really is. But as a wrestler, and again, I respect John, but talking technical stuff,
I don't.
he is not that guy.
Listen,
he is,
I agree.
5 moves a do.
I didn't mean to open the John Cena can of worms. I'm just saying Roman Reigns' 1,000 days is up, and the Jimmy Uso the division that's happening is due.
Are you guys gonna fight?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not like again. He was obviously carried, and in the majority of the matches, he obviously just does like his finisher and then pins. But I'm just saying he could at least somewhat competently work with them to have those 5-star matches, though, and at least has the odd thing. Like that isn't much, but that's more than like Roman, who, you know, in the past he mainly just like did 5 moves. You know, it was a little over exaggerated, but still, it wasn't the greatest matches. And he was also clearly carried as well. But then also back then, and even way more now, he like runs out of breath like 5 minutes in. Like so
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT.
I mean, I get it. I mean, like as a wrestler.
Yeah, he like runs out of fucking breath 5 minutes in. It's insane.
Who was that man talking about?
I have no idea. I don't know where that came from. It's one of the things
like
that Warren.
Yeah, probably.
But you know, the thing is that even though the Bloodline is now over, the Bloodline storyline is going to continue. I mean, they have got at least 6 pay-per-view matches out of this one incident that happened here in Saudi Arabia. And it's not often that they use Saudi Arabia to tell a story. Usually you go to Saudi Arabia to make money and make the Saudis happy. Those matches wind up being specifically for Saudis, and usually somebody that the Saudis will favor will win, which is why it could have easily been Mustafa Ali carrying that title for at least 4 days and losing it back to Imperium on Monday. So it's, you know, it was that much of a possibility because, you know, hometown heroes go over there.
Right.
Home faith.
My cynical view of wrestling has a lot more to do with wrestling politics than it does the actual storylines involved with that, and I realize that. But what else there, Gene, have you got?
I'm trying to think. The big thing I was sort of happy about or really invested in was Asuka winning. Let me see. Brock Cody, I guess that the rubber match is going to be at the next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. This whole thing with, and I think to the points that have been made, you know, this random storytelling. It's like all of a sudden Brock Lesnar wants to pick a fight with Cody Rhodes. It's like, and he still hasn't explained it. It's like, oh.
Well, the point was is that he couldn't. Cody could not instantly go back for his rematch against Roman Reigns, and they needed to tie him up for a little while. So a nice little run-in insta-feud is a good way to wrap him up for a couple of pay-per-views. But eventually that's coming back in, and Cody will have his rematch with Roman Reigns. But not until Roman Reigns has had his couple of pay-per-views with the Bloodline. Whether it's in tag team matches with Solo Sikoa against the Usos, or whether it's one-on-one with Jimmy. You got a couple of things to look forward to in the next pay-per-views when it comes to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, which is why I said that story's not over. It also ties him up so that maybe come WrestleMania next year, we have a rematch of Cody versus Roman. And maybe next year is the time where he actually loses the belt. So that's why I don't think he's going to be losing it anytime soon to anybody in particular.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, Cody should have won at Mania, but first of all, let's be honest, it's WWE. They always make it a point to bury any big name star who made his name somewhere else. So sort of looking back on it, it's like
Vince was backed by WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And Vince loves to not give you what you want, and everybody wanted Cody to win. Everybody wanted Cody to win.
Yeah, that was the only thing he
Vince
changed.
Was back, he was not. The only thing he changed?
Oh yeah, the rest of the theme was good, and then he decided like I'm just gonna change that up, just to piss everyone off. There we go.
I was going to get it, but I totally forgot about it. But sure, Jan.
Sure, Jan.
I was going to get that one. I'm going to have that one ready for Cole next time.
Oh no, well the reason why is because everything else was good, and then that sucked. So obviously.
So anyway,
Let's
see. We did talk about the Double or Nothing predictions that were coming up. Did you have any predictions?
Yeah,
for
I
Double or
mean,
Nothing?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't follow AEW at all, so I really don't have any commentary on that. AEW just reminds me way too much of like late stage WCW. So, I mean, if you're hyped for it, I think that's great. But for me, I'll pass.
Cole, you got anything to say about AEW?
Yeah, well, they're missing their best wrestler, who saved the company in 2011. So.
Oh, you mean the guy that almost blew up the company and caused them all kinds of legal heartaches?
What do you mean? The Young Bucks are still wrestling? We're talking about.
No, that blowout in the back, which is the name of the next pay-per-view, that wound up destroying private property for the stadium and causing them to get their insurance people involved and their legal people involved. So it's not the old days where you could just go to Puerto Rico, shiv a big man and call it an accident. These days are more litigious than they have ever been, and you just can't run the company. I did that. I went there to Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
All right. It is a far more litigious environment than we have ever been in when it comes to sports entertainment, and you just can't treat it like the old territory days anymore. And that is one thing Chick Magnet doesn't know. And he just doesn't want to play anymore. He's doing his best to channel the Ultimate Warrior and get himself fired by making the absolute wrong business decisions at the height of his career.
Height of his career, does he even have a career anymore? He seems to love burning bridges wherever he goes, and it's like, I get it. Pro wrestling is hard. Having disagreements with the booker or the company or whatever, interpersonality conflicts, I get it. But it's like, man, dude, unless you want to work the indies for whatever time he has left because his body's beat up, you might want to start playing ball. The thing is that I think, like a lot of wrestlers, honestly, he fell in love with his own ego, fell in love with his own image, and honestly views himself as the voice of the voiceless. He's like a younger, more bitter version of Bret Hart.
Okay,
it's like, at least Bret's bitterness I can understand.
The thing that started this fight was that a dog was hit when Kenny Omega opened the door in the locker room really hard and the dog was injured. You're allowed to throw hands if that happens. That's just decency for an animal, and that's why we're in the situation we're in. It's really just dumb luck. I don't really want to say that he is toxic to the work environment. That happened. That's cause for the beats.
Throw hands.
The dog wouldn't have got kicked if he hadn't have said on an open mic in front of reporters, if you have an issue with me, you got a beef with me, you know where my locker room is.
You're right
I'll
about
be there
that.
waiting.
He did say that, didn't he?
and then step in front of the door and lock it and try to keep people from coming in and handling their business, which is what they were trying to do. If he hadn't been trying to stop the door from stop them from coming in, they wouldn't have kicked it in.
Wow. So he invited people to come and sort stuff out.
Yes.
And then when they did, he was like, we don't want any.
Yep, that's right. Now, he's not
Well, of course,
not
because
allowed to change his mind.
It's a classic, you issue a challenge, and then when someone actually calls you out, and then you
My mom said no.
Lock the door. Like I said, he Magnet, in my opinion, for all of his talent, is a toxic influence, more so than most big name egotistical wrestlers are.
No.
So anyway, at the height of his renaissance, he was got his name put on a video, got his picture plastered on a video game that was about to come out, and he challenges people to save his career while he ruins it. And they do their best to pull everything together. A new company comes in, not a new company, but the WB decide they want to have a new show for Saturday nights, and everything's going well. They're going to do a debut in Chicago. They've got the arena set up. They've got the show set up. They've got banners and things. And right before they make the big announcement, he decides, you know what? I'm not going to play ball unless you hire my best friend back, and starts a big old fight about that, because everything was about to be, everything was coming up Millhouse, and he can't have that. So there he is doing it again, and they pull the announcement, or pull his images. They change the announcement to next week we're going to tell you where we're going to be having these dates and premiere the show and all that other stuff. So they gave him one more week to set it all up. And they finally made the announcement. Chicago is the debut for AEW Collision. Everybody expects the announcement to be that CM Punk will return, and he will be headlining the show and make his big comeback. You've got all the big comebacks happening at the same time. You got Miro coming back. You got Thunder Rosa coming back. Possibly Andrade El Idolo. All of these people that have had attitudes at one point or another, being shelved for one reason or another, coming back and having their own show where they will be featured, headlined by the poisonous of them all, CM Punk, possibly. But we'll find out as we get closer and closer to the debut of Collision, whether or not he derails himself for a third and final time. There's rumors that a letter was sent to him saying that if you don't play ball, you're not going to play at all. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. What are your thoughts on the Little Mermaid there, Gene?
Oh, well. Is there any particular topic regarding the Little Mermaid? Because it's just sort of like Little Mermaid. It's an umbrella term. Then you have these all subcategories.
I wasn't here for that category.
So what exactly?
The Chicka Wow Wow.
Which one?
Chicka Wow Wow.
I didn't hear.
Wow Wow. That's
Oh yeah, that terrible film, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the Scuttlebutt song. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Scuttlebutt.
Oh my god.
I'm amazing, right? I can do it really well.
Yeah. I know what you got. Yeah.
Well,
oh
if
my
you've
god.
already committed it to heart, go ahead.
I got that Scuttlebutt. Scuttlebutt. I don't know the rest. I don't know that. That's all I know. The Scuttlebutt. Scuttlebutt. I was Chicka Wow Wow. Chicka Wow Wow. That's how bad it is. Oh god.
Yeah, that is terrible. It's something about like the Scuttle points out like when a human dresses up like a penguin, and then something about I know some dangerous penguins. I'm like, oh my god.
I know some, yeah, and I know some fat pigeons because that's a lie. Blah blah blah. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like,
I was like, it
dear
can't be
God,
for real.
like,
and the official, I went and watched the official Disney Vivo thing. That is the song that is in the movie.
Yeah,
of course, we don't want to be copyright stricken, so we didn't.
Yeah,
say
go
the
and have a
actual
look.
version,
Yeah,
which is why we have
yeah.
the kiddie version.
Yeah.
The kiddie version
I
is
mean,
just
just
as good. I'm actually gonna
first of all,
do the whole thing.
yeah, I'd be like, just first of all, for like any Disney film to literally have a reference to the whole bound chicka bow bow like bass line, I'm like, okay, that's just weird for a Disney film. I'm like, we all know what that bass line usually is. I'm like,
well, that's
I'm
what
gonna
Ariel
learn
wanted
this
the
in my
legs
heart
for.
and record it.
True, but
I don't understand why it's called the scuttlebutt because she's like, I've got the scuttlebutt, which is the gossip. That's what she's saying. She's got the gossip. Is that what Scuttle?
Right.
Because I was like,
I
how are
guess
you
to
saying
her
you got
that's
that
what it is.
scuttlebutt? You drop it down? Is that what you're gonna talk about? A butt?
I'm guessing it's some sort of play on words. I don't know and I don't want to know. What
You may be too old to
I mean,
understand
aside
the
from
meaning of this.
intentionally scarring my ears, because it's one of those songs that is meant to sound bad, let's be honest, but I think it just proves how you really can't mix and match certain musical styles, if that makes any sense, because, that's a Lin-Manuel thing. And look, I respect his work on Hamilton, I respect his work on In the Heights and what he did for Encanto. That all works for those works. But, you can't take his style and just try to just throw it into what is ultimately a remake of an animated Broadway musical from the late 80s. There's a reason why all of the other songs are the way they are structured the way that they are. They're based on Broadway musical. That's why when they had the actual Broadway musical, it worked because the original film was an animated version of that. You can't take this newer style and insert it into this more classic style and think that they mesh. They don't. It sounds awful.
You'll be like, what? When I drop the scuttlebutt? Okay, now how to love Buttercup?
You got the lyrics off.
My whole Chrome died
Oh, okay.
because of my singing.
Huh.
So I don't know how people. Yeah, here's the lyrics. I'll send them to you guys.
Didn't Lin-Manuel Miranda do Moana?
Okay.
He wrote You're Welcome.
Oh, You're Welcome is so great. I like that song. That's a good song. What can I say except you're welcome?
He did.
Yeah, it's such a good song. And the way they The Rock does it pretty well.
He's good at what he does, but the fact of the matter is you can't.
You need to hear The Rock sing to Vicky Guerrero. He sang that really well too.
Because it just talks.
I don't know if that. Haha! I don't know what you're doing.
You're welcome. It's not.
He's supposed to laugh at that.
That's
He's
actual
supposed to.
Kentucky Fried Chicken nuggets.
We're gonna have to pause every 5
What
seconds
is-
or
what-
something for this.
There we go.
They call it Kentucky Fried Chicken. I heard it was illegal to call it that, and they had to change their name to KFC because the state of Kentucky was like anything with our state name in it, you deserve to be taxed or something like that. Remember? That was the thing.
I think it was because it wasn't really chicken.
That was the.
I
The
was
prince has been
watching
dropping
this,
hints.
and I was like, could this get any worse? And then this song happened. I'm like, fuck me.
Okay.
Rice for the pigeons. They're trying to blow up the pigeons, but those are just urban legends. I know a lot of really fat pigeons. Oh my god, it's so horrible. Actually, just remembering it. I've only listened to it like once, and then I've in Disparu's videos that you can hear it several times. So somebody who knows the song, so
This is somehow worse than any
Yeah.
Lion King songs in that remake.
Oh my god, The Lion King. Yeah. My niece watched The Lion King, and I knew all the lines and everything.
Oh my god, no,
And I was like, you don't know what you're missing, kid. Yeah.
They didn't spend too much time on this.
No.
No, they did not.
Have you heard it? Did you hear it? Yes, you've heard it. Chicka wah wah, chicka wah. Anyway, I need to get going, guys.
Okay.
We're gonna go and get ours. Yeah, actually, so Patrick, is that for real? Is that really why? Scuttlebutt, why it's called Scuttlebutt, that's cool.
Alright.
I'll believe you. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'll be on the Discord in the live room for the whatever
Watch
the
party. The watch party
whatever
for
the H
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I'm unmarried now, so you can't
And
really.
if you can't get that going, you can always read the comic book aloud. So, which will
That
probably
would be better for everybody, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks for
Have a
being
great
here,
week.
Kitty.
Kitty, have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to have to wrap this up anyway, so let's just say goodbye to everybody at the same time. Thank you for being here, and as always, make it a great day. Here we go. Check it out. Wait. Wrong one. Here we go.
Just wanna have fun.
Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Bitch, move.